7 Coronation Street spoilers for next week 9th to the 13th of June. Next week on Coronation Street. Kit finds Brody collapsed. Lou causes a stir at Craig's wake. Maria is arrested. And Betsy discovers a family secret. 1. What's happened to Brody? Having seen the sort of upbringing that Brody has faced with former best mate Mick as a father figure who is currently in prison awaiting trial for the death of Craig Tinker, Kit is determined to ensure Brody doesn't end up following the same path. But so far, Kit's interference has only angered an oblivious Brody, who is convinced by Mick's lies that Kit set him up. Next week, Kit suggests to Lou that she might want to get a DNA test done, to settle once and for all whether Brody really is his son. But whether Lou's open to the idea is another matter entirely. When Sarah invites Kit along to a family barbecue at the newly renovated Platt house, he politely swerves it, no doubt thinking there's already enough drama going on, without adding burnt burgers and awkward small talk with David into the mix. Later, Kit catches Brody mid-heist as he tries to swipe a bottle of wine from a delivery van outside the shop. He swiftly puts a stop to it and sends Brody packing. But Brody doesn't go quietly. He heads straight to Lisa with accusations of harassment against Kit. Lisa's not having any of it and quickly fills Kit in on Brody's latest attempt to stir the pot. But Kit may want to tread carefully. His frequent run-ins with Brody could soon start raising eyebrows and awkward questions. Sometime later, Kit, Sarah and Bernie are shocked to find Brody lying on the pavement outside the Rovers, with a smashed bottle of whiskey next to him. What has happened? And will Brody be okay? 2. The street farewells Craig. Meanwhile, Lou approaches Gary at Speed Doll and asks if he can help her sell Mick's van. Despite the feud he had with Mick, Gary has been able to sympathize with Lou's situation, much to the chagrin of his wife Maria. Their conversation is quickly cut short when Maria arrives, prompting Lou to make a swift exit. Later, Lou turns up at the salon and informs Maria that David has asked her to cover his shift. But how will Maria feel about working alongside her? As Kit and Lisa talk about Craig's memorial, his actual funeral being a small family affair in Norfolk where his mum Beth now lives, they reflect on how difficult it is going to be for everyone involved. Kit reveals that the family have asked him to give a speech, though given the circumstances that led to Craig being out on patrol alone, it's clear he may be feeling conflicted. As the morning of Craig's memorial comes around, Sarah is puzzled to discover that Kit has already left the flat early. As the mourners gather at the bistro, Lisa grows increasingly anxious when there's still no sign of Kit, especially with him due to give the speech. With Bernie and Sarah having no joy in trying to get in touch with Kit, and Craig's stepdad Kirk in no state to step in, it's left to Lisa to make a heartfelt tribute to Craig in Kit's absence. But where has Kit got to? After Lou is told to take care of the salon as Maria attends the memorial, Gary reminds her how much Craig was respected in the community, and that if she truly wants to make amends, she needs to show people that she's genuinely sorry for what happened. Encouraged by his words, Lou decides to do just that by attending the memorial, but given that her husband Mick was responsible for Craig's death, how will her arrival be received? 3. Maria is arrested. Later in the week, Maria discusses the Platt family's barbecue plans with Shona, fully aware that Lou is hovering nearby. As she walks past, Maria gives her a pointed warning to stay away. When Audrey finishes cashing up in the salon, she hands the money to Shona to pass on to David, who will take it to the bank. When Shona accidentally leaves her phone behind, Lou quickly pockets it, seeing an opportunity to head over to the Platt house. On her arrival and pleased to be reunited with her phone, Shona invites Lou to stay for the barbecue. Knowing the cash is in Shona's bag, Lou quietly slips inside the house whilst everyone is distracted by Nick making a toast. Just as she considers taking the money, a suspicious Maria enters and jumps to the obvious conclusion, demanding Lou empty her pockets. But will she find her suspicions confirmed? Moments later, a crash is heard from the living room. The Platts rush inside where they find Lou on the floor, surrounded by the shattered remains of the new glass-topped coffee table, with Maria standing over her. 4. Betsy uncovers a family secret. Prior to Craig's memorial, Lisa is attempting to distract herself with sorting through some old files. But when she spots Betsy snooping through a particular box, she quickly snatches it away, raising Betsy's suspicions. When Betsy confronts her mom about the file, Lisa lies that it contains information about the sperm donor who is Betsy's biological father, pointing out that, legally, she's not allowed to read it until she turns 18. But when Carla gets home later that day, it's clear Betsy's been digging further into the files. Betsy shows Lauren a picture that she took of a letter concerning Becky, discovered amongst the files, explaining that she is determined to find out the truth. 5. Betsy heads to prison. When Lisa suggests they grab lunch later in the week, Betsy pretends she already has plans with Dylan, but instead, she and Lauren make their way to Highfield Prison. As they wait in the visitors' room, Betsy admits to Lauren that she's terrified about what she might find out. And it soon becomes apparent as to why, when it's revealed they're there to visit Logan Radcliffe, older brother and killer of Mason. Will Betsy get the answer she needs? And how will Lisa react when Steve reveals to her that Betsy and Lauren ordered a cab to Highfield Prison? 6. Sally and Tim worry about the Micllis girls. Over at number 4. After some initial stumbling blocks, both Tim and Sally are now looking forward to their potential future as foster parents as they embark on training with the foster agency. They're soon called to put their skills to the test again, however. When Sally returns home to find that Tim is once again taking care of Lou's young daughters Joni and Shanice. Concerned that Lou might be taking advantage of Tim's kindness, Sally voices her worries, but Tim insists that caring for the girls is valuable experience and good preparation for fostering. When Sally and Tim argue over Tim's untidiness around the house, their bickering is cut short when they notice Joni and Shanice sitting together on the sofa, clinging to each other and clearly frightened by the tension between the adults. Sally and Tim discuss how difficult it must have been for the girls, growing up in the Micllis household with abusive Mick as a father, and vow to do all they can to help them. 7. Millie has big news. At number 11, Todd's burgeoning relationship with Theo hits another bump in the road when Theo decides to move back in with his family. The week begins with Theo's daughter Millie arriving unexpectedly with an overnight bag in hand, catching Todd off guard. While Theo heads off to talk to estranged wife Danielle, Todd stays with Millie and she drops a shocking revelation. She's pregnant. The news leaves Todd struggling to know what to do for the best. And he's gutted when Theo subsequently announces that he's moving back to the family home. Theo tries to reassure him, insisting that moving out is only about giving his kids stability, and not a sign that he wants to end their relationship. Relieved, Todd manages to convince Theo to join him for lunch. But when Theo notices a missed call from Millie, he reminds Todd that his children always come first and leaves. At the end of the week, Todd is saddened when Theo cancels a further date they had planned. When he sees a family photo that Millie's posted on her socials, Todd can't shake the feeling that he's being excluded. Will Todd be able to put his insecurities aside? Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more movie spoilers next week. Goodbye and see you again.